So it's been a pretty good storm for us. The nice and cold reservoirs are still well above average. Many of them are still spilling, so I'm not worried about water supply, at least as far as how the system is set up here in California, capturing almost all the water in Northern California, transferring a lot of it down to the south, as well as keeping a lot of it to the north as well. I think we're okay because the reservoirs are just about as full as they can be this time of year. You have to have that buffer for flood protection. Okay, what's left for your Friday? We've got some Sierra snow that's going to continue to fall. The valley's in a clearing stage, and it was a cold system. Now, we're always on the lookout for atmospheric rivers because that's where you get your big storms, and I'm just not seeing anything once we move past this. On Sunday, we're going to have some of these clouds spill through the area. It's not a big deal, but it will be damp, gray looking, almost like Seattle. But the actual rain falling out of the sky is going to be, if anything, very much on the light side, less than 5/100ths of an inch of rain. A lot of places are not going to get anything at all, just some clouds and maybe a sprinkle. That's for your Sunday. But for your rest of your Friday, we're just in this last day stage where you're going to see some clouds, some sprinkles. Almost all the rain chances are going to be confined to elevation changes. So for the Sierra, the northern, central, southern Sierra, it's going to be a rain-snow mix for the rest of today. Snow above 5,000 feet, light rain below that, and some sprinkles and a few random showers left over along the coastal range. But out over the ocean, you can see lots of dry air and northwest winds that'll start drying us out by tomorrow. So we're moving into the next phase. We just have some leftover hours of this system and more than that in the Sierra. So there's the northwest clearing winds that you almost always get after a storm like this. Heads up though, on Sunday evening, we're going to start to see the winds pick up. But as far as a new system, that's about it. We're just looking at clouds on Sunday, winds up high. But as far as any new precip that's significant, no, that's not it. So here we go. We're going to see the rest of the storm drift away. By this evening, even the snow stops. Your Saturday is going to be a good one, just some high clouds moving through. Sunday is going to be a mix of clouds, a few random showers, maybe some sprinkles, and then by Sunday evening, we're going to be wrapped up with that. What's left with rain for the rest of today? Maybe 1/10 of an inch if it really comes together and confines in some of those lower foothill spots on the east side of the valley, but that's it. In fact, once we move past Sunday, till the end of the month, we've got a pattern that's going to hold, likely warmer than normal and also likely drier than normal. So that's going to be just the pattern that we've got. So if you've been a fan of the rain and snow lately, you're just going to have to kick back and just respect the new pattern that's going to emerge, which is not only going to be dry, folks, it's going to be warm. Next weekend in the valley spots should be the first 70s of the season so far. This is warm for us, not quite record-breaking, but it is up there. And just watch a lot of the plants and vegetation respond to this. There's certain magic numbers for soil temperatures that all of a sudden grasses start going, lawns start firing back up, weeds, you name it. There's a lot of things that could happen for this upcoming weekend. So if you're into plants and gardening and all that, check ahead, do your stuff that you need to do now once this storm wraps up, because all of a sudden the whole world is going to look very, very different. You can see already some of the green grasses have popped up down low in the valley. I expect a lot more of that by the end of the week. Getting over to the snow part of the forecast, this is what it looks like up high. Snow-covered roads, a lot of delays. We even have some closures right now. 88 is not in good shape. And I just want you to remember a couple of the things. A lot of folks, they just look at the cameras, they'll watch the reports and say, there's snow, let's go. Great, I'm one of you. That's when I want to go. But these are the things that some people may forget. Travel's just slow in general. Even if you know what you're doing and you're prepared, chain control areas, the speed limit is 25. And I would say at times it should be even lower than that, just because you got to go slower. You got to let your tires do their thing. Traction is very easy to lose. Braking is a major issue, so don't tailgate. That's always the worst when people are taking it slow and then all of a sudden there's someone right on them. That's just a bad recipe. Some roads are closed right now. We've got 88 in many places is closed. The spur, the pass, also toward the Nevada side because trucks, 3 trucks, I don't know what happened, but they're stuck in the middle of the road without chains. By the way, almost all the road reports that you see from the CHP, if there's a crash or something else, quite often it involves the lack of a vehicle that's prepared for the roads. It's not like if you sneak past chain control, you have a magic pass where it doesn't affect you. Your tires just don't work like that, especially two-wheel drive in the back. They spin all over the place. The rubber on the tires gets really hard like a hockey puck. They can't get traction. You just get stuck anyway, so it's not really worth it. Streets and driveways and parking lots all have a lot of snow removal to get through, so it just takes a time to navigate where you normally would. Watch out for snow shedding. This is a big one. We have 1 to 3 feet of snow that's fallen in the last couple of days. On the roofs of homes and businesses, what happens is that the heat that they have to stay warm in the middle melts the bottom layer of the roof of the snow on the roof, and then all of a sudden it sheds very quickly. So just look at the roof. So watch where you walk, watch where you park, and just assume at some point later in the day, all of that's going to come down at once, and you don't want to be under it. Bad things have happened, unfortunately, with that in the past. And of course, it's just going to be straight up busy. The Sierra Snowpack, I did update these numbers, but it's still technically showing the data from yesterday. So it's going to get better. We are well on our way. I like where we are at the moment. You add in the new numbers that we're going to get into the system, and it's going to look very impressive. And by the way, this is just what we got overnight in many places. There was a foot earlier. You add in 25 inches or so from the previous, for some of these totals, and it's just been a very healthy, good snow-producing storm. Now, as far as chain controls, obviously we've got chain controls, and you can see the speeds, by the way, all the yellow there are chain control areas, so people are slowing down. But we're expecting it to be at least through Friday evening, which is today, and I would say probably even a little bit longer than that. And it's not just the main roads where they actually do the chain control checks. All the side roads, steep driving, stuff like that, you may just want to keep them in your car just in case, even if you know what you're doing. Couple more inches of snow is expected until the rest of the day. I'm keeping it in red for the Tahoe 7-day forecast. Why? Well, we're just in a post-storm environment, and it's just snow recovery, snow removal efforts. We've got all sorts of equipment out, so take it easy, take it slow. It's just going to be one of those days, but you are set up for just an absolutely beautiful, dry, and great President's Day weekend ahead. But like I mentioned, we are going to be getting warmer going into next week. No new snow in the forecast, and down low in the valley, highs approaching 70 degrees or warmer. That should cover it all here on a Friday. I'm Rob Carlmark with ABC 10 Plus.